Alright, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at how to solve two-step equations. Just like solving one-step equations, the point of solving an equation is I want to get my variable by itself. So in order to do two-step equations, I have to do PEMDAS backwards. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and draw your dotted line over your equal sign just to get into the habit of that. Alright, the first thing that we want to do is we want to figure out where x is. What I want you to do is I want you to find x, and then I want you to put your finger over that whole thing. Alright, all you see there is a plus 3. I need to get rid of that so that I can get my variable by itself. So when we do two-step equations, we're always going to start by adding or subtracting a number to get it out of the way and to the other side. Alright, the opposite of positive 3 is negative 3. So I'm going to go in and subtract 3 on both sides of that equal sign. Now I have plus 3 minus 3 is 0, so we got that out of the way, just like I wanted to. And over here, 7 minus 3 equals 4. If I move my finger, I still have a 4x, so I need to bring it down. So now I have 4x equals 4. Now I have a one-step equation. I'm going to solve this just like we did the other day. Since my 4 is attached to my x by multiplication, to get it to the other side, I have to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 4 over 4 cancels out to 1, so x equals 1. Alright, and of course we're always going to go in there and check it. So the way I check it is I'm going to go in there, I'm going to start with my original equation, which was 4x plus 3 equals 7. Since I got x equals 1, I'm going to go in and plug in a 1 for x. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 does equal 7, so that checks out to be correct. Alright, let's take a look at another one. Alright, first thing again I want you to do, go ahead and draw that dotted line over your equal sign. Alright, find your x. It's right here. I'm going to cover that whole term with my finger. Right now I have a positive 5. I need to move that. So the way I move that, since this is plus 5, I have to do the opposite, so I'm going to subtract 5 on each side of my equal sign. 5 minus 5 is 0, so that's gone just like I wanted it to be. If I move my finger, that leaves me with an x over 2 on this side. And now 9 minus 5 is 4, so I have x over 2 equals 4. Right here, my 2 is attached to this x by division because this fraction bar represents dividing. To undo division, I have to multiply, so I'm going to multiply both sides by this 2. So I'm going to say 2 over 1 times 2 over 1, so now these 2's cancel. That leaves me with x equals 8. And of course, just like I always do, I'm going to go in and I'm going to check it. I'm going to start with my original equation, which was x over 2 plus 5 equals 9. I'm going to go in and plug in what my value for x was, so I have 8 over 2 plus 5 equals 9. Well, 8 over 2 is 4, plus 5 equals 9, so that checks out. Alright, on this third example, again, I want to get x by itself. So I'm going to cover up where, well, first let me draw my dotted line over my equal sign. And I'm going to cover up where I see an x. Right there, I have a positive 4. In order to get that positive 4 to the other side, I got to subtract it. So I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. So now 4 minus 4 is 0. This whole term needs to come down. Don't forget to bring down this negative. So I have negative 3x equals 10 minus 4, which is 6. Alright, now if I look at my x, what's attached to my x is a negative 3. This is negative 3 times x. So to get it to the other side of this line, I have to do the opposite. The opposite of this being multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 cancels out to 1. So I have x equals 6 divided by negative 3, which is negative 2. Alright, then I'm going to go in, I'm going to do my check just to make sure that it works out. Alright, I'm going to go in there and I have 4 minus 3x equals 10. I'm going to take my negative 2 and plug it in. So I have 4 minus 3 times negative 2 equals 10. But remember, if I'm subtracting, that means I need to add the opposite. And here, a negative 3 times a negative 2 is positive 6. So I have 4 plus 6 equals 10. So that checks out. Alright, on this last one, I'm going to go ahead and put my dotted line over my equal sign. Alright, if you see to the left of that equal sign, I have two x values. Those are what we call like terms, so I can combine them. The only time I'm going to do the opposite is when I go across this. But if I'm putting 2x and 4x together, I'm not crossing this line, so I'm not going to do the opposite. I'm just going to combine these like terms. And 2x plus 4x is 6x. So now 6x equals 7. I want to get x by itself. It's attached by multiplication, so I undo it by dividing by 6 on both sides. 6 over 6 cancels out, so x equals 7, 6. Alright, now what I want you to do is I want you to do this one on your own. You're going to do each one on your own, so as soon as you can see what it is, as you hear me say it, I want you to work it out and then pause it. Once you have finished working it out and getting the answer, I want you to unpause it to check to make sure that you got it right. Alright, so this first one says 2x plus 7 equals 9. Go ahead and pause it and work it out, and then once you're done, play it and check it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a dotted line over my equal sign. I'm going to cover up my x, and I see a positive 7. So to get that to the other side, I'm going to subtract 7. So I subtract 7 on both sides, and I get 2x equals 2. Now, 2 is attached to x by multiplication, so I'm going to undo it by dividing 2 on each side. Those 2's cancel, so x equals 1. And just like always, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my check. I started with 2x plus 7 equals 9. I'm going to plug in a 1 since that was my answer. So 2 times 1 plus 7. Does that equal 9? Well, 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 7 equals 9. So that checks out. Alright, your next one says 2/3 x minus 4 equals 10. Go ahead and pause it and then play it once you've finished it by yourself. Alright, I'm going to go in and I'm going to cover up my x term. I see a minus 4. So to get it to the other side of this dotted line, I have to add 4 on both sides. On the left side, I'm going to bring down my 2/3 x equals 14. Alright, now on this problem, 2/3 is attached to x by multiplication, so to get it to the other side, I have to divide. But I'm going to be dividing by a fraction, which means I have to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/2. This cancels out, so I have x. Alright, I'm going to cross cancel this fraction. Down here, 2 and 14 are multiples of each other. I have 1 2 and 2, and I have 7 2's and 14. So now I'm left with 7/1 times 3/1, or just 7 times 3, which is 21. So x equals 21. Alright, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go in and check it just to make sure I got it right. Alright, so I have 2/3 times x minus 4 equals 10. My x was 21, so I'm going to go in and say 2/3 times 21/1 minus 4 equals 10. Again, I can start canceling. I have a 3 in the denominator and a 21 in the numerator. Well, there is 1 3 and 3, and there are 7 3's and 21. So that just leaves me with 2/1 times 7/1, or 2 times 7, which is 14. 14 minus 4 equals 10, so that checks. Alright, here's your third one. It is x over 5 plus 6 equals 9. Alright, go ahead and pause it, work it out yourself, and then when you're done, check it to make sure you've gotten it correct. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cover up where I see my x, so I'm going to cover up x over 5, And right now I see plus 6 equals 9. I'm going to draw my dotted line. Alright, since I want to get to the other side, I have to subtract, do the opposite, and the opposite of positive is negative. 6 minus 6 is 0, so that's gone. That leaves me on the left side with x over 5 equals 3. Alright, now I still need to get x by itself, and it's attached to a 5, and it is attached by division, so I need to multiply both sides by 5. Over here, my 5's cancel out to 1, which leaves me with x equals 3 times 5, or just 15. Alright, I gotta go in and check it, make sure I got it right. I started with x over 5 plus 6 equals 9. X is 15, so I'm going to plug that in, which gives me 15 over 5 plus 6 equals 9. Well, 15 over 5 is 3. 3 plus 6 equals 9, so that is correct. Alright, and now my last one says 7x minus 2x equals 13. I'm going to go in, put my dotted line over my equal sign. Since I'm staying on the left side and I'm not crossing that line, I'm not going to do the opposite. I'm just going to put these two terms together because 7x and 2x are like terms. So that gives me 5x equals 13. Now I got to get x by itself, a one-step equation. 5 is attached to x by multiplication. So if I'm going to do the opposite to get it to the other side, I have to divide by 5. That gives me x equals 13 fifths.